What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Dual Sense podcast. This is episode 74. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jason, and I'm joined, as always, by a very special guest this evening, project codename LaBitch James, also known as Travis. Travis, what's going on tonight?
Oh man, I was watching LaBitch. He's back after 8 games out, and
It was breaking news.
yeah, breaking news during my cats. I had to see breaking news. LeBron's back. Don't know why that's breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking news should be legitimate news. Like a guy who's injured, that's not news. Anyway,
Yeah.
they're running it back against the Celtics, and it's the Dennis Schroeder revenge game for the Lakers not paying him back. And I watched about the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. LeBron complained, and then I watched the third quarter, and nothing else was very different.
Yeah, just picked up right where he left off, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Big
He's
surprise.
yelling, I got fouled twice on that play. I got an and one. And then he could read his lips. He just kept saying, and one. Fouled twice, and one. And I'm like, bro, you're down by 12. Fuck off. Like, like there's not a 12-point foul.
I cannot stand that guy. Cannot stand him. Michael's way better. Kobe's way better. So anyway, guys, we promise we're a PlayStation podcast, believe it or not. And Travis and I get together each and every week to discuss all of the news, rumors, new games, and a little bit more the world of PlayStation. We post new episodes every Monday on all the usual podcast services around the world, as well as YouTube, if you prefer to listen there. And we also share some game streams and clips there occasionally. Got some Battlefield clips up there at the moment. And you can also find us on social media. We would love to hear from you and talk PlayStation, or you can just tell us that we suck, or you kind of liked it, or maybe you're on the fence. Whatever. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, let's see, Facebook. What else? We also have a blog called the DualSense podcast.wordpress.co. But yeah, just hit us up, find us, and let's talk. So without further ado, Travis, I think we should jump into the news here. I am affectionately calling this episode Bad Bobby. Bad Bobby, Bad Bobby. There's probably a lot of people not old enough to know what that's from. But anyway, here we go. Number 1. Sony Interactive Entertainment president and CEO Jim Ryan semi-publicly reprimanded Activision Blizzard this week, saying that the publisher-developer has failed to adequately respond to allegations that CEO Bobby Kotick was aware of sexual misconduct and harassment claims at the game publisher, including claims that he himself had mistreated women. Bloomberg reported that in an email to SIE employees, Jim Ryan wrote that he and the leadership team were, quote, disheartened and frankly stunned to read that Activision has not done enough to address a deep-seated culture of discrimination and harassment, end quote. The email goes on to say, quote, we outreached to Activision immediately after the article was published to express our deep concern and to ask how they plan to address the claims made in the article. We do not believe their statements of response properly addressed the situation, end quote. It should be noted that Xbox chief Phil Spencer echoed those sentiments in his own email to employees as well this week. Elsewhere, the recently departed, like she died, Blizzard co-lead Jen O'Neill claimed this week that she resigned in part because she did not receive the same pay as her male counterpart and was only offered as much after submitting her resignation. Could this be enough external pressure, Travis, to force out Bobby Kotick?
God, where to start? Okay.
He looks, by the way, before you go, he looks, I don't know if you've seen this guy, but he looks like a very miniature version of Jabba the Hutt. But continue.
Well, that's why he sexually harasses people. He can't get laid any other way. Just the first thing that sticks out to me is this Jim Ryan quote. It reads like it's written by somebody else, or that it's definitely been through multiple drafts. Like to say he's disheartened and frankly stunned that they haven't done enough to address the seeded culture. So that's kind of an obvious statement. If the culture is seeded, that means it's been there for a while, and of course they aren't doing enough to address it because it's seeded. That's the whole point of it. Like if they had done enough, it wouldn't be seeded. Like, come on. So it just reads like, I don't know. It's just like they're over over worried about what they're saying, and they don't communicate like real humans half the time, and it like bothers the piss out of me. I hate it
Yeah.
so much. Anyway, what's a Phil Spector?
Phil Spencer. He is
I don't know who
the.
that guy is. What's a Phil Spector?
It doesn't say Phil Spector.
Oh, that's just who I was thinking of the whole time.
I don't know.
So, just a counterpoint before I talk about Bobby here. So, Jen wanted to leave because she wasn't paid, not because they were sexually harassing women.
It could be a little bit of both. I didn't read all of her claims.
Okay.
I'm sure it was both.
Well, it should be both. If you're going to stand behind women, then it should be a whole thing. You can't say that bullshit and then only be worried about your money. That being
Sure.
said, is it enough external pressure? I think for a lot of people, yeah, that would definitely be enough external pressure to get them either fired or make them resign or take a pay cut or whatever else. It would definitely get some sort of a negative impact on a person, but there's something about Bobby when I look at him, when I read his comments that make me think he will not do this on his own, that somebody's going to have to make him leave, whether that's
Oh yeah.
somebody's gonna have to hold his hand out of the building. Like he's not going on his own. So if it's external pressure that makes him leave, it's not him. It's gonna be whoever is could pull the strings on him, and it's not gonna be Jim Ryan talking. It's
Yeah.
gonna be all the all the stockholders and all the people that are tied to it. And if they start losing more and more staff, again, I think he'll go down with the ship until they make him leave, until or whoever they is would be my guess. But there's definitely a lot of shit going on there, and it's definitely not a good look.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard, but this week PlayStation took Call of Duty Vanguard off of the featured section of the PlayStation Store, which,
Right.
that's not a terribly huge deal, but it is at the same time because there is a marketing deal between the two parties, and Call of Duty Vanguard always is in the featured
Mhm.
section at launch and beyond for a
Right.
while, in the featured games. So I guess my question is, do you think PlayStation and or Microsoft, either one, has enough balls to be like, hey, we're not going to sell Call of Duty until you fire this motherfucker? Like, do you think anybody's going to go that far, or they're just going to keep writing emails and shit like, hey, we really don't like this guy, he's a cunt? Like,
Yeah, those emails don't do anything. It's like when people complain about
yeah,
anything else in the world, that doesn't matter, but, like,
yeah,
seriously, taking them off of the feature list, that's gonna turn some heads because some investors are gonna be like, "Well, wait a minute, like, that needs to be there. How many
yeah,
sales are we losing per day because this guy is a moron?" I think that
yeah,
has more legs than whatever else
yeah,
whatever else Jim Ryan publicly says.
yeah. I think that if one or either of the platform holders took Call of Duty, or really Call of Duty in particular because of it being Call of Duty, but if they took it off of their storefront, like PlayStation did with Cyberpunk 2077,
Mhm.
I think that would definitely send a message. And
Can you
at
imagine?
that, hey, I can't imagine, but I also couldn't have imagined them taking Cyberpunk off for 6 months.
That's fair.
However, it's a little bit different because one's Cyberpunk and one CD Project Red and one is Activision and one's Call of Duty. So
Mhm.
it's apples to oranges. And also Call of Duty, sells 20 million copies every year, which PlayStation gets a 30% cut of every game sold. So I don't know. It depends. I mean, we're gonna see where their chips are, and how much they care about this, depending on how much worse this gets and how long this goes on. Number two, the Game Awards announced this year's nominees for the show, Travis, across the various categories, and a number of PlayStation games and studios have been recognized and nominated for their work, including Deathloop and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for Game of the Year, Deathloop, Returnal, and Ratchet and Clank for Best Game Direction, Deathloop for Best Narrative, Kena, Bridge of Spirits for Best Independent Game, Deathloop, Kena, and Ratchet and Clank for Best Art Direction, Deathloop for Best Score/slash Music, Jason E. Kelly and, oh boy, Ozioma Akaga for Best
Mhm.
Performance in Deathloop, and also Genshin Impact for Best Ongoing Game. So, any thoughts you have here?
I guess ongoing game is their version of live service
Yeah,
or
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, that makes sense. God, everybody plays Genshin Impact.
Hmm.
And nice to see Obama there acting in Deathloop after he got out of office. Uh, so one of my favorite things about video games is always the art direction or the art style.
Yeah.
Deathloop, Keenan, Ratchet and Clank, 100% there with that. Can't
Yeah.
argue that at all. They're all beautiful games. I think next year the Horizon's going to be on that list.
Mhm.
If you could just put it on there from what we've seen, I would put it on there. I'd put it on there now. I still
Yeah.
think it's better than all of those three, but that's okay. And Deathloop getting a lot of love, which is interesting because I sent you that list earlier today. I don't know if you saw it of basically like all these recent AAA games that have came out, and
No, I
they're
don't think I
getting like
did.
all these terrible reviews on Metacritic and stuff. And Deathloop's the only one, and it's like an 86. It's the only one in
Hmm.
the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Fascinating, by the way. People just doing shitty things with like Rockstar fucking up GTA and
Yeah.
whatever else. Nobody
Talk
likes
about
Call of
that soon.
Duty.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, these are all familiar games that we expect to see in these lists. It's nice to see exclusives in these lists. Makes me feel like that, we've got something that other people don't. Obviously, I guess that's what exclusive means, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is cool. Game direction is interesting to me because I know they mean game director, but I would love to see a category that's in the other definition of direction, like Uncharted 4. They love the direction they took the franchise,
Mm.
right? Or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Battlefield 1, that was a great direction to take that. Like,
Yeah, that'd be an interesting award.
you call it something else. I don't really know what you'd call it, but like,
Right,
because
right.
there's certain games every year, there's 2, maybe 3 games that have a momentum to them, right? Because you could
Uh-huh.
even put a game like No Man's Sky on there. The direction they've taken that since it's came out is such a journey.
Mhm.
I don't know. I always think about that every time I read best game direction because a game director, it's not the same as a movie director, and I think a lot of people don't even really know what those guys do.
I think they could have an award like that and call it, like, most improved franchise, or something
Oh,
like
that'd be
that.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, God, there's all kinds of games you could throw in there really when you think about it.
Mhm.
Especially since the day launch. I mean,
Mm.
that's like every game now.
Yeah, literally.
But no, I mean, these are all the hitters we expect. This ongoing game category is, I guess this is new, but I mean, theoretically, you can win this game 4 or 5 years in a row in or win that category 4 or 5 years in a row. I think
Yeah.
that's fascinating to me.
Yeah, I think No Man's Sky's won back-to-back years. I could be wrong about that. I know they've definitely won 1 year. But I have a hot take about this year's Game Awards, and I think this is not a very strong list of nominees.
Okay.
I just don't. I mean, I think there are some really good games, some great games, but I don't know that we have any game this year that's just like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think those are coming next year with the Horizon, potentially other games. There's a lot coming next year, but I think the game of the year race is absolutely wide open. I think the fact that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is in there, and which is a good game. It's a good game, but I don't think it's a game of the year quality game. No offense to Insomniac. Deathloop, it's a fine game. I know it reviewed really well critically.
Yeah.
I'm not a terribly big fan of it.
Mhm.
Is it game of the year quality? I mean, yeah, potentially, I guess. I don't know. I feel like we're a step back from where we've been in years past, and I understand COVID and everything, and not a whole lot, like I said, came out this year of any great consequence. There's no real showstoppers
Yeah.
from anyone, really, in my opinion.
Well,
So it's a little different year,
yeah.
different feeling year. We'll get back on track next year, I think.
I think that's part of the reason a game like, I know it won't win, but you could literally give game of the year to a game like Genshin Impact that has the kind of player base it does
Hmm.
in this type of year. It's I mean, it's not too dissimilar to like teams that have won championships during COVID. It's just like
Yeah,
it was like a weird year for games. Like you said, there's not really one that's just like I have to play it.
yeah,
Like Chivalry is a great game, and like I would rather see that win than any of these other games. But
yeah.
the issue isn't the list. I think the issue is the lack of quality or high quality.
Mm, mm. I do think it's a little bit of a snub that Returnal did not get in the game of the year discussion. I really do, but it is what it is. I think it's a victim of circumstance in terms of the type of game that it is. If it was something that was more mainstream. Like, I don't think a rogue like game is ever going to win Game of the Year. Or at least,
Probably
I
not.
I mean, one probably people are probably like, "Oh, this guy's an idiot." One's probably already won, and I've forgotten about. But I don't know. I just I don't feel like I feel like that's probably a knock against Returnal this year. Well, I guess you know what though, Hades is a roguelike, and it probably won Game of the Years last year. So there, yeah. So fuck me, right? Anyway, there's one more thing I wanted to say about this. Oh, you mentioned Chivalry. If I remember correctly, it got nominated for Multiplayer Game of the Year. So I think so. I'll have to look at that to be sure, but it will definitely get my vote.
Oh, yeah, well, you can't those multiplayer games, do they ever win Game of the Year? Call of Duty, fuck.
Yeah, Call of Duty. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Call of Duty might win Multiplayer Game of the Year, but overall Game of the Year, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that I saw Chivalry 2 got nominated for Multiplayer Game of the Year. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. Number 3, Saints Row developer Volition announced that the game has been delayed out of February, where it was scheduled to launch the same day as Elden Ring, the much
Mhm.
anticipated Elden Ring, and it will now launch on August the 23rd. Chief Creative Director Jim Boone, who has a who has a like a sausage farm here, I think, said in a statement on the game's website, quote, "The team just need more time to do our vision justice. We're doing some fine tuning and there won't be much change in the game outside of overall quality and polish. Ellipsis. Rest assured there will not be any changes to the story or the characters or anything that we've lovingly imagined over the last few years and already shared with you." End quote. So there we have it. Saints Row delayed. We had speculated that it would be after everything is coming out in February, and
Mhm.
then obviously Elden Ring delaying from January to the same day as Saints Row. Somewhat of the writing on the wall, but do you have any thoughts?
Well, I've never heard anybody say ellipses out loud
Oh,
in a quote. That was fascinating.
you're welcome.
Yeah, so I wish, if we were popular enough that we could afford an editor, this would be a great time for, do like a little rerun track and go back to one of the episodes where you were just ranting and raving about how not everything was coming out in February.
Yeah,
That's perfect. But like you said, I think the big red letters on the wall was when they moved Elden Ring to the same day,
yeah,
because that's gonna have way more fanfare and draw than Saints Row will, honestly. I mean,
yeah.
I'm more interested in Elden Ring, I think, than Saints Row,
Whoa.
even though I would play Saints Row instead of Elden Ring. I just think Elden Ring is much more interesting narratively than, because Saints Row is just like, I'm gonna turn my brain off and we're gonna goof around for a few hours and it'll be fun.
Hmm.
Like Elden Ring, it's like watching There Will Be Blood or watching Ocean's 11. Like, they're both
Okay,
good movies, and Ocean's 11 isn't as good of a movie as There Will Be Blood, but you still love it, right? That's
that's
Saints Row
fair.
to me, but you wouldn't want them on the same day. So,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just confirmation. I'm sure we'll see more, like we said before. More will find their way out of February.
yeah. I agree. I think there will be maybe one more delay out of February, and I'll discuss that in just a moment because I have a theory that I'm sticking to, but it sucks that it's getting delayed. I was looking forward to buying 4 games in February, potentially. But this was like I said, you could somewhat see this coming. It makes sense. I mean, just get out of the way of Elden Ring. They're not going to move anymore. Doesn't seem like, and give yourself some time to do some other stuff on it. August is typically a good month to release games. Usually not very much coming out big in August, so I think that's a good month for them to do it, to push it back to. I hate that I have to wait longer to play it, but it'll help out my bank account a little bit. So I'm glad that they're also sticking to their guns, and I hope that they're telling the truth, that they're not trying to go back and deal with this feedback from like this vocal minority to an extent that don't like the direction of the game because it's a little less wacky, a little more and a little more grounded. Because I actually like the approach that they're taking and the
Oh, I
direction
agree.
that they're headed, and so I hope that they are sticking to that. And I think they're too late in the game to really change anything, of substance, story wise, gameplay wise, thematically, anything like that. So I think that is what it is. But, delays are never a bad thing. I mean, it can only help it. So
They're
I just,
not?
they can always help the game.
What about, like, delayed ejaculation? Is that bad?
That is bad. That is
Okay.
bad. Video game delays, however, are typically not bad. They just make you sad, but they're not bad.
So sometimes that makes you sad too.
Sometimes that makes you sad, and then you get a little glad. So,
Mhm.
anyway, why don't we go down the bay and eat some hay? We just may. Number 4, publisher Warner Brothers Games and developer Player First Games officially announced the previously leaked Multiversus. Multiversus is a platform fighting game in the vein of Super Smash Bros. And Brawlhalla, which includes characters and levels from various IP across the Warner Brothers universe, including Batman, Superman, Scooby Doo, Shaggy, Tom and Jerry, and many more. The game will be a free to play title that will add characters and levels over time, most likely in the form of season passes, and it will also support cross platform play and cross progression. It will also feature dedicated servers, rollback netcode, ranked competitive modes, character customization in both online and local play, with 1v1, 2v2, and 4-player free for all modes. Multiversus will launch sometime in 2022 on PS4 and PS5, and interested players can sign up now for upcoming playtests over on the game's website. What do you think?
Well, a few things off the jump. Again, multiverses. I understand what the name means, but it's stupid. They tried way too hard.
Yeah, very marketed, very marketing like.
Yes. I don't know what rollback netcode means.
I don't understand it either, but apparently it's very important for fighting games. Very
Oh,
important.
maybe we can use it on racing games because I get netcoded the fuck out of penalties and bullshit like that. When I read, this is a lot about me as a gamer too. When I read like, oh, there's ranked competitive modes, 1v1, 2v2, I'm immediately exhausted. I'm already tired. I don't want to fuck with it. I don't care. I'm not interested.
Why? What's the matter?
I just want to play and have a good time. Like that's one of the things I liked about Hell Let Loose, and even what I like about Battlefield is like, yeah, I know it's competitive. I know it's ranked, but like I'm not worried about my KD like I am on COD. I'm not trying to be whatever. I'm just having a good time. If I go negative but we win, that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't need to be competitive with those types of games. Like if I want to be competitive, I'll race.
Mm,
Like it's just I don't have the energy for that. It just drains me. I don't have the bandwidth mentally for that. But that being said, it does look cool. Like we talked about the other day, it's like Brawlhalla, but like all these characters you know. So it's kind of
yeah.
it reminds me a little bit of Mortal Kombat in some ways. I mean, it's 100% got the Brawlhalla stuff where like you're falling off the map and you can get saved with a lasso, or you have that little guys who are doing little things to kick themselves back up onto the platform. So
Yeah.
it has all that going on. The characters are fun. It's just funny to me that you can be Tom and Jerry. Like that's hilarious to me. Like I just
It's
it's so
brilliant.
weird.
It's brilliant.
Shaggy is weird.
Yeah, he goes Super Saiyan in the trailer.
Yeah, God, it's such an it's
I
it's
love
kind of
everything about
perfect
it.
for right now. Do what?
I said I love everything about it so far.
Yeah. It's perfect for right now. Like it's just a bunch of random characters that everybody knows. Everybody's fighting. It's fun and goofy. I don't know how much I'm going to hate how competitive it is because when I keep losing, I'm going to get pissed off and hate it. Like Rocket League. I hate fucking losing. It
Yeah.
drives me insane. But anyway, no, it looks really cool. I would imagine this will do well.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person on the planet that's excited for this though. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm the only person who thinks this is cool at all. So, that's not the first time or the last, but I'm low key excited about this. I think this looks excellent, and everything they're saying so far sounds excellent. Dedicated servers, awesome. Rollback netcode, whatever that means, sounds great. I know it's important. Like I said, love the characters that they've shown so far, and Batman. I mean, come on, guys, you can fight Batman with Shaggy or with Jerry, the little mouse. I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. So,
You can almost answer questions we had as kids. I mean, we
yeah,
weren't like
yeah,
you know what I mean? We weren't like, well, would Shaggy beat up Batman? We weren't talking about that, but you know, you can theoretically they could add some characters where we could finally answer some of those questions.
yeah. I think it's great, and I think the free to play model is smart. I do. I think that's very smart. Season passes, that's cool. Whatever, charge me $10 and give me two more characters. For every 4 months or something, 3 months. That's cool. I don't know, man. I'm really excited about it. I think of all of the platform fighters, and as someone who grew up with Super Smash on 64, love that game. That was the game that we defaulted to whenever you go over to friends'
Mhm.
houses and stuff. You play Smash and
Yeah.
or GoldenEye, whatever. So that was like the heyday for me. So I have very fond memories of it. But at the same time, I didn't really I guess not relate's not the right word. I didn't really identify, I guess, with the Nintendo universe characters other than like the Pokemon things because like I didn't play the other Nintendo games growing up, like Kirby and all that stuff like that, and whatever the one that's Samus is Metroid. Like I didn't play those games, so. But for me, Batman, Scooby Doo, my favorite cartoon ever, Tom, like all that stuff. And then I don't know if you watched the trailer, but when you like KO somebody off the map like really fast or whatever, it at the at the bottom of the screen, wherever they fly off the screen, it pops up with Porky Pig, and when the Looney Tunes thing says, "That's all, folks." I thought that was awesome. So I'm really excited about this. Really excited. I'm like I said, I'm the only one. It seems like. So if you guys are listening, if anybody else out there is with me, please let me know on Twitter.
He can crush that 1v1.
That's right. I only need one more. Number 5, Rockstar Games released an apology on Friday, Travis, regarding the poor launch state of Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition. In a post on its official website, the studio wrote, quote, "We want to provide an update regarding the unexpected technical issues that came to light as part of the launch of Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition. Firstly, we want to sincerely apologize to everyone who has encountered issues playing these games. Ellipsis. The updated versions of these classic games did not launch in a state that meets our own standards of quality or the standards our fans have come to expect." End quote. The developer will release an update in the near future, which will be the first step in, quote, ongoing plans to address the technical issues and to improve each game going forward. With each planned update, the games will reach the level of quality that they deserve to be. End quote. Any thoughts?
Just a big pile of bullshit.
Hmm.
What do you mean it's not to your standards? You released the thing, so if it wasn't where
Yeah.
you wanted it to be, don't release it. Just come out and say it's not ready. Like, I think that the
Yeah.
gaming community can handle that. We are good.
Yeah.
As much as people like to bitch and moan about things, for the most part, the community isn't stupid. They're just eccentric and a little bit needy. But at the end of the day, if even if you delay 3 or 4 times and it comes out and it's the way it should be, they're gonna be fine. So that's a whole load of horse shit that it's not to their standard and this, that, and the other. Like, you do game tests, you do play tests. I mean, go
Mm.
back a couple of news stories. You can sign up online to do play tests for the game that we were just talking
Yeah.
about. So, like, they obviously have people playing the game. They know that if they shake the car, it's gonna get bigger, or they have to figure there's people that that's their job. They
Yeah.
fucking try to break games. So, like, they're a big enough company, they made enough money where they have to have people to do this. So they knew, and it's a joke. What I don't understand is why release it? We've had, like, multiple games come out recently that have had issues that are kinda weird like this, and it's I don't understand why they just don't delay and fix it. I
Yeah.
don't get that at all.
I don't either. And what makes it more perplexing, especially from Rockstar, is that Rockstar doesn't give a fuck when we want anything. They don't care. Like when have they cared in the last 15 years, 20 years really, since San Andreas? Like when have they cared like, "Oh my god, these guys really want this game. We got to hurry up and get this thing out no matter what." Like no.
They never do that.
They don't. It took them forever to make Red Dead Redemption 2. It's going to take them forever to make GTA 6. So why did they
Right.
rush this out the door? Why? They
It
they
doesn't
they
make
were
sense.
under zero. Yeah, they were under zero pressure to get this out. Grand Theft Auto Online is murdering. GTA in general is still murdering.
Right.
Red Dead Redemption sold almost 40 million copies, or Red Dead
Yeah.
2. I mean, what's the like? So what? Where's the fire? I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
it doesn't make sense, like, nobody's forcing them to do that. They've made
Yeah,
so much money that they don't need to even do this. So why half-ass it and put it out there? Like, they don't they have so much money, they've made so much money that I don't know what if they need money, there's a bigger problem going on.
yeah.
So, none of it makes sense to me.
They did let the people who made the mobile games make these ports. like Grove Street Games or something. They made like the Grand Theft Auto Vice City, iPhone version or whatever.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's who made these games. Obviously, and those weren't very well received either. So
so that makes sense.
that was obviously a mistake. Number one. Number two, if I want to go tinfoil conspiracy theory, Jason,
Oh, here we
ano-
go.
another idea that I have had is that we obviously know that GTA 6 is many years away, 4 maybe 5 years away, right? We know that they have been under scrutiny for massive crunch at Rockstar. We know that apparently they are overhauling the culture of the studio, or studios, I should say. Part of me wonders if they released this in the state that it's in because they see everybody else doing it and getting away with it. And maybe they want to see, hey, what happens if we put out a game that's not totally done, that's a little bit half baked? Like, what kind of feedback are we going to get? Meaning, do we have to really wait 6 more years, 5 more years to get GTA 6 out the door? Or can we get pretty much there and get away with it? You know what I'm saying? Because fuck, everybody
Yeah.
else is doing it. So I mean, that's probably not the case. Like that doesn't make good business sense. I understand that, but I'm I'm just, for the sake of having fun. Like I just because it doesn't make sense. Why did they do it? They delayed it GTA 5 next gen to March. I mean, did they feel like they had to put something out in November instead of it? My other question is here's one more way to look at this. They were originally going to put GTA 5 and GTA Online, the next gen versions, out in November. It was supposed to come out November the 11th. They delayed it to March. So did they say, "Oh fuck, okay, well let's put out the trilogy instead on the 11th"? So did potentially Grove Street Games maybe were saying, "Listen, we're not ready," and they were like, "Fuck it, we got to put something out." But why? But again, why? Fucking why? You don't do that with anything else. Why this? Why now? So
Well, yeah, and then it's such a silly decision that it makes you wonder. There has to be some external pressure, right? Because it makes no sense to
yeah,
put something out that is this fucked up. So even if, let's say hypothetically that they just ended up swapping the dates, like they pushed 5 back to March, and they were like, originally this edition was going to come out in March. And they thought, well, it's smaller port, it's easier to do. Maybe we can get it done by November, and maybe Grove Street told them sure, and then they said, here's your deadline, and they're like, this is what we got, and maybe they just pushed play. But
mm,
even then, with some of the stuff that I'm seeing, like I've seen clips of things online, I'm not sure that this would have been ready by March either. Like,
yeah, it's possible.
I know I've never obviously coded and fixed things, but some of the issues are just like they're so strange and weird, and like the glitches are so random. I just feel like it would take them a month to find everything by in and of itself. So you're already in January before you're fixing anything. So whatever. Yeah, it just seems like there's something off there to be so out of character from what they normally release when they're ready to release. It's just weird.
Number 6, we also have a lot of news nuggets here, Travis. Feel free to jump in here wherever you please. First nugget, video game conglomerate Embracer Group announced that they have acquired 37 studios and labels over the last 12 months and that they intend to execute a similar number of transactions over the next 12 months. Embracer currently owns more than 250 video game franchises and 86 internal development studios across the world. Unreal. Unreal. I hope they start getting into buying PlayStation podcasts. Next nugget, website Video Games Chronicle reported that Call of Duty Vanguard had the lowest launch in the UK, meaning the United Kingdom, of any entry in the series in the last 14 years, with opening week sales down 40% year over year.
That's pretty good.
It is.
Part of me thinks that's well, it's interesting, but part of me is kind of, I guess, happy for lack of a better term, because maybe it will make them reevaluate what they're doing
Yeah.
and put a little more effort into it.
Yeah.
Like we've said before, if we keep giving them money for FIFA and Madden and Call of Duty, they're just going to keep churning out the same bullshit.
Yeah.
So hopefully this will be maybe an eye opener that it can change. We'll see. I wonder if the Warzone being free has something to do with that. I wonder if the player base has shifted.
Hmm.
And also, this is a great vehicle for woke SJW people because they could say it's because of all the sexual abuse. It's a great narrative spin that has nothing to do with sexual abuse. I'm telling you, if that game was really good, they could literally come out and say they ran Pizzagate for Epstein and people would still buy the game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if this was okay, 100%. If this was Modern Warfare 2 releasing this year, dude, nobody would give a fuck about all this. I mean, they would care, okay, but they're still going to buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So absolutely. Absolutely. Next nugget, Ollie Ollie developer Roll 7 has been acquired by Take-Two, the parent company of Rockstar Games and 2K. Roll 7 will fall under the Private Division publishing label, which is publishing its next game called Ollie Ollie World.
Ooh, they're gonna
Yeah.
add the city. You can get a State Farm shirt for your character. It's gonna be awesome.
That's good. Website Push Square reported that Capcom confirmed that upcoming PS5 exclusive Pragmata has been delayed to 2023, which, in a curious and fascinating twist, Travis, Capcom had already announced at the start of this year, so they delayed it twice somehow to the same year. I don't fucking understand what they're doing. But yeah, we've known that it was going to be 2023 for a little bit. Also, in an interview with the publication Financial Times, Electronic Arts FIFA branding executive David Jackson reiterated, quote, "We are not certain that we will move forward with FIFA as a naming rights partner," end quote.
Wait. His title is Electronic Arts FIFA branding executive.
No, they didn't include his titles. So I just
Oh,
called him branding executive.
I was
They
like, well,
said he worked. He
goddamn.
said he. They said he worked in branding. So,
So if they take that away, he's gonna have to get a whole new job title. I mean, that's his only job.
yeah, this just goes back to what we were talking about last week, like with eFootball being the number one most played free to play game in October. They just totally missed the mark, dude. I mean, because FIFA or okay, so you got EA falling out of grace, falling out of love with FIFA, the organization. You've got 2K hinting that they're going to try to come in and get the license. Then you've got Konami over here just shitting the bed with esports football or eFootball, whatever it's called. Like, dude, they're missing it. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
Why don't they combine it and call it esports EA football? That sounds like it'll be a blast.
Right. Let's call it 2K's EA FIFA eFootball and just call it good. Next nugget, Sega's Ryuga Gotoku Studio, the developer behind the Yakuza and Judgment series, has confirmed it has new projects in the works and that they are not related to either of the aforementioned franchises. Shark RPG Maneater has received a new ray tracing update on PS5 and has also reached more than 5 million players since launch. It's pretty impressive.
Wow.
Yeah. Physics based space station maintenance puzzler Heavenly Bodies will launch on PS4 and PS5 on December the 7th. This game looks dope.
Mm-hmm.
Which could also be, Travis, the same day that new PlayStation Plus games are available for the
That is
month.
true. That's a good hint. I will say this game looks cool, and there's a part of me that feels like this game would be a lot of fun on a PlayStation handheld. Like,
Mm,
it just feels like it would be perfect for that. Like, you can just flick it on, have
yeah.
some fun. I don't know. I was thinking about that last night when I was
It would also be fun if they had online co op instead of just local
mhm.
couch co op. But,
Yeah,
you know,
God forbid.
God forbid. God forbid. Next nugget, remote play on Android 12 has been updated to now support DualSense PS5 controllers. Long in development action RPG codename Project Awakening reemerged this week as publisher Games made a presentation about its open world engine, which revealed a snippet of new in game footage. Project Awakening was announced way back in 2018 for PS4, and it is assumed to have migrated over to the PS5 as well, or perhaps exclusively. Looks kind of neat, but we don't really know a whole lot about it.
Yeah, wake me up in 10 years.
Yeah, for real. The Vita PlayStation Store remains under siege, Travis, in many parts of the world after more than a week of users receiving error code NP 2244 2 in parts of Europe, Asia, and even Australia. Sorry, Ryan. However, the issue does not seem to be affecting North America or the UK.
Mhm.
So,
Number
FIFA or
1.
FIFA, Vita, Vita still having its death march. Also, Outriders got a big free update this week called New Horizon, which offers 4 new expeditions and a transmog system so that you can alter the look of your gear without losing its stats.
Oh, that sounds really annoying.
It does. It does.
God, why was that even an issue?
Right. Tom Henderson reported that sources tell him Ubisoft's Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still several years away and is, quote, suffering a development crisis, end quote. God, aren't we all?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You went out and bought a Corvette. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Next nugget. Oh, I lost my voice there. Next nugget. Codemasters has added the Jeddah Corniche circuit. How'd I do? A new course located in Saudi Arabia to F1 2021 this week. Guilty Gear Strive is getting its third DLC character called Happy Chaos. Okay. On November 30th for season pass owners and on December 3rd for all you peasants. Open World Racer The Crew 2 will get a new season of content called The Contractor, which is focused on delivery events all over the world featuring taxis, limousines, and other delivery vehicles.
They basically made the transporter.
They did. They did. Also, 2K Sports released a new trailer for WWE 2K22 this week that highlighted the new gameplay engine, controls, and visuals. The game will also feature the return of the My GM mode, in addition to My Faction, which is like a manager mode, and My Rise, which is a My Career mode.
God, if they release another game and keep putting my in front of it, I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. Like,
I'm gonna Yamo blow my brains out.
they could be mildly creative. Like, it's unnecessary.
Oh
Let's just
man.
call it my WWE 2K22. I always do that.
My WWE, my 2K22. Oh, I bet Ryan's rock hard for this. Ryan, if you're rock hard, tweet at us and let us know.
I feel like a good wrestling game could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree. That this is their comeback.
If I
They're gonna.
remember correctly, the UFC games were not good.
I don't know. I've never played any. I've never really paid attention. I feel like maybe the latest one is good because
Mm.
it sold well. I don't know. Let's just make Fight Night and call it good. How about that? Next nugget. PS4 and PS5 exclusive martial arts brawler Sifu is apparently ahead of schedule and thus has moved up its launch date. It will now release 2 weeks earlier on February the 8th rather than February the 22nd. So there is the rare case where a game moves up its launch date, Travis, instead of delaying. So they now get out ahead of Elden Ring, Horizon, and potentially Dying Light. Or no, I think it will come out right after Dying Light. So they
Dying Light's not coming out.
well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk
um,
about that.
leave it to the Japanese to figure out how to get a game out faster than it needs to be out.
Yeah. So the team the team that's making this is actually a French team, but fair
Leave
enough.
it to the French to figure out how to get a game to come out faster.
Very excited about this. I'm gonna wait to see what reviews at
Yeah,
though.
it looks so cool. I mean,
It
like, you talk
does.
about art direction, like, this is textbook.
Yeah. If it reviews decently, I'm there because I'm liking it. I'm picking up what they're putting down so far. Next nugget, multiplayer survival shooter Hunt Showdown will finally receive 60 frames per second support on PS5 with title update 1.7. The patch is already live on PC, so it should come to PlayStation any day now.
I'm
God,
so
it's took
glad you
them
can
long
play
enough.
it.
I know, fuck. Fucking hey, I might check it out. I don't know, but it's taken them forever. Also, Chinese communist megacorporation Tencent has acquired a minority stake in ukulele developer Playtonic. Tencent also acquired Soleil and Valhalla Game Studios parent company Wake Up Interactive this week. Pretty cool. A PlayStation home inspired social hub project called Dreams Central is now a backable project on Kickstarter. And yes, it is being made in Dreams on PlayStation. Sony's AI division and Gran Turismo developer Polyphony Digital have partnered together to explore the possibility of teaching artificial intelligence how to drive cars in the game based on visual cues, Travis.
The fuck does that mean?
I don't know. I
I mean,
really don't know.
they're gonna let the AI learn how to drive based off of what it sees, or and it's applicable to the real world, or it's just applicable in the virtual world? That's what I don't understand the
That's a good
crossover
question.
here.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna guess just the game, just the virtual world, but you never know at this point. I mean, Zuckerberg's renamed Facebook Meta, so who the fuck knows?
Mm.
Also, website PlayStation Lifestyle reported that a patent for Sony's customizable PS5 faceplates have finally been made public, which means we can expect official plates most likely in 2022.
Oh my god. I'm getting a Gran Turismo one, aren't
You probably are, yeah.
I?
Yeah, you are. You might get a PS5 Gran Turismo console.
I can't. That's ridiculous. I don't need another console.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Just
Can I
get
use
ready.
can I use one of them to data mine Bitcoin?
Probably. Analytics firm Ampere Analysis has reported that PS5 sold through 12.8 million units as of September the 30th, nearly double the Xbox Series X and S, which sold through 6.7
Wow.
million units by their calculations.
You know what's interesting about this though is like, you don't really see a lot of numbers out of Microsoft, and every time
Yeah.
that we've seen numbers, it's almost always PlayStation's almost always double, and
Yeah.
like that is asinine to me. Like like I don't know. Maybe I thought 2 to 3, like for
Yeah.
every 3 they sell 2, but like
Right.
that's insane to me. Like,
Yeah. That's what they did to him last generation too, and it looks like it's just going to continue. So it'll be a another 2 to 1 or another 100 million to 50 million by the time it's all said and done. Next nugget, developer Highwire Games has delayed tactical military first-person shooter 6 Days in Fallujah until the second half of 2022, and they have also doubled the size of their team to ensure the game hits its mark this time. We'll see.
nice. Yeah, I want this to work.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks neat. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has received a new patch that added a ray tracing mode on PS5. I think I've already said that, as well as save rollback feature and various bug fixes. Maybe I didn't. Also, peripheral manufacturer Razer, I hardly know her, announced a wireless headset for PS5 and a DualSense wireless charging station. The headset comes in a standard or pro version, which cost $100 and $200 respectively. While the DualSense charger will run you $40. Okay.
Hmm. It sounds like daddy needs a wireless headset.
Yeah, that I'm not gonna lie. I looked up that $200 one and it looks pretty badass. It's
Really?
white and it's one of those headsets that has haptic feedback in the cups,
Oh,
so
cool.
it'll give you like vibrations based on where like explosions and shit are coming from. Yeah, pretty wild. Maybe one day.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well get the charger while you're at it, guys. What's $40?
Yeah, go ahead and get the pro and the standard and the charger. Fuck it, 340. Next nugget, Dying Light 2 developer Techland has said that there is a quote unquote zero chance that the game gets delayed again, Travis. And that
Uh-huh.
is the biggest fucking lie that I've heard this week. That just means that motherfucker's 100% getting delayed, is what that means.
If you got money in Vegas, put it on it.
Oh, I'm telling you guys. I'm only gonna have to buy two. Let me put it this way. I'm only gonna have to buy 2 games in February. Okay. Mark my words. Also, Control and Alan Wake developer Remedy Entertainment has opened a new studio in Sweden as it continues to work on multiple projects, such as a Control sequel and a Control spinoff. A lot of Control. And they need to lose control, and presumably an Alan Wake sequel. Genshin Impact developer Mihoyo, I don't know, has opened a new development studio in Montreal, Canada, that will be working on a new AAA open world paranormal game. Okay.
What did I listen to earlier? They're talking about it was about paranormal things. So, like, as you know, I don't believe in anything paranormal. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I want aliens to be real, but I don't think they're little green men that came down and have been here. I don't believe in that either. And I was thinking about like, because I have nothing to do in my life. I was thinking about what if the scientists proved that ghosts were real, and they proved that it was like all this paranormal stuff was real, and I'd be like, well, then it wouldn't be paranormal anymore. It would just be normal.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then I just sat there and thought about that for like 10 minutes because I was just like, I was in like a wormhole. See,
Just
like
blow your mind.
people like me don't need to do drugs. Like we're fine. We're just over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, you don't need acid. That'll just ruin you. Next nugget, website PlayStation Universe reported that the following games received update patches this week. Deathloop, Enlisted, Black Desert Online, Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty Vanguard, Neverwinter, Rocket League, Outriders, Smite, Fortnite, Far Cry 6, Zombie Army 4, F1 2021, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Borderlands 3, and Doom Eternal. So if you've been waiting for some fixes in any of those, now's the time to check.
I also got a pretty hot download for Hell Let Loose yesterday.
I did too. Yeah, I got that too. The game file is now 12 gigs, so I don't know what that's about, but yeah, we should check it out. Also, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunts PS5 release has been delayed from 2021 to sometime in early 2022. Developer Shark Mob announced that's that free-to-play vampire game, Travis.
That'll be out in February.
It'll be out in February. We're making way for it. Skate 2 online servers will shut down for good on December the 10th. Ruined King, a League of Legends story, is out now on PS4 with a PS5 version coming sometime in the future. Additionally, Song of Nunu, a League of Legends story, was announced from developer Tequila Works, and it will release sometime in 2022 as well. And finally, Convergence, a League of Legends story. They got a lot of stories to tell, which is a 2D action platformer, was announced from developer Double Stallion Games, and it will also release in 2022. So lots of League of Legends stories coming next year. VR co-op action game After the Fall from developer Vertigo Games will release on PSVR on December the 9th, which I'm pretty sure we said last week, but oh well. Website Gematsu reported that Oddworld Soulstorm Enhanced Edition will launch on PS5 and PS4 on November the 30th. It will be a free update for current owners of the game. 1980s and 90s era Japanese stock market simulator Stonks 9800. Jackhawk 9000. Stock market simulator will launch will come to PS4 and PS5 at some point in 2022.
It's amazing.
Turn-based strategy game Warhammer 40,000 Jackhawk 9000 Battle Sector will release on PS4 on December the 2nd. Dystopian puzzle adventure game The Plane Effect, that's with an E. That's the plane with an N-E, will come to PS4 on December the 2nd. Classic games Moon and Blackbird will release digitally on PS4 and PS5 on December the 16th. Grid-based dungeon crawler Vaporum Lockdown, which apparently is a prequel, will launch on PS4 and PS5 on December the 10th. Asymmetrical multiplayer online game Dragon Ball The Breakers will launch sometime in 2022 on PS4. Puzzle platformer Unbound Worlds Apart will launch on PS4 and PS5 on February 9th. Roguelite-inspired cooperative first-person shooter Gunfire Reborn will come to consoles sometime in 2022. Developer Compile Heart has established a teaser website for an unannounced new Neptunia series game. First-person psychological horror game Luto will launch on PS4 and PS5 sometime in 2022. Or as I wrote there, PS4 and PS4. Bandai Namco announced Pac-Man Museum Plus, a collection of 14 Pac-Man games coming to PS4 sometime in early 2022. Rhythm-based first-person shooter Metal Hellsinger has been delayed. That's a cool name. Has been delayed out of 2021 to an unknown time in 2022. And developer The Outsiders have also canceled the last-gen versions of the game, meaning it will now only come to PS5. And finally, Travis, website Gematsu reported that publisher Team 17 and developer Overborder Studio announced that action RPG Timesia has been delayed to 2022, but it will now launch on PS5 in addition to PS4. And that is all for the news this week. I'll kick it over to you now for this week's new games.
On the 15th, we had Finger Fitness. Interesting.
Yeah.
On the 16th, we have To Revive. We also have Dandy Ace. I thought that said Daddy Ace. I was like, that's a sequel to Finger Fitness. He becomes Daddy Ace after that. Another fucking Just Dance 2022. Goddamn. Kingdom 2 Crowns. 2 Crowns?
Chains weren't enough.
Light Fairy Tale Episode 2.
Huh. Yes, I love this one.
Marsupi Lammy Hub Adventure. Marsupial Me.
Marsupilami. Hoop Adventure.
Marsupilami Hoob Adventure. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. That's what
Sherlock
happened to Hooba
Holmes.
Snake.
Okay. Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1, which I really want to play, and it has like a 6.
Yeah.
I'm not paying $45 for it.
Yeah.
Following that, we have Yuki. Yuki is a Japanese game, just so you know.
Mm-hmm.
On the 17th, we have Grow, Song of the Evertree. Clang 2. Mastho is Together. Does that say Mastho? How do you say it?
I
Or
guess.
Mastho.
Yeah, there you go.
Ruined King, a League of Legends story. How many fucking League of Legends are there? Surviving the Aftermath. I thought that was a documentary about the gymnast, Larry Nassir. The Last Stand Aftermath. The
Very
Wild at Heart.
mm-hmm.
Let's see. On the 18th, we have Airport Simulator Day and Night, which is oddly interesting.
Mm.
We also have Blood Rain Revamped, Blood Rain Revamped 2, Kid Manisha Exhibition.
That's that Radiohead thing.
Fuck Radiohead. All right. Shaolin versus Wu-Tang PS4. Woo, woo.
Nice.
Smoots Golf. Space Moth Lunar Edition. Oh, a giant space moth is terrifying.
Oh, you're going to play that.
Tears of Avia.
Yeah.
The guy VR on the VR. And lastly, today, we had Battlefield 2042 for the peasants and poor people.
Honestly, the only game on there of any real major consequence is Battlefield this week. But trying to see here. Surviving the Aftermath is a real-time management sim game from the same people that made Surviving Mars, but it's not gotten very good reviews. Sherlock Holmes, I'm sure people will pick that up. I mean, Just Dance is a big one, I guess, by default. But yeah, Battlefield. So not a very strong week of releases. But
I'll tell you who loves Just Dance are Catholic moms.
Yeah?
Yeah, love that shit for their kids. Yeah, so and then also this week PlayStation released like their Black Friday sale, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Some games went out. There are some interesting deals on there, but I would like to point out that just, Jim Ryan, if you happen to stumble upon the podcast and you've made it this far in, which I'm sure you have because you have a lot of free time to listen to us, having a Black Friday sale and having a game that is 10% off is not a fucking sale. Don't bother. Don't bother.
What game is this that he's pissed you off with?
There was 2 of them on there, and I've already forgotten what they were, but they were like $54 or $52 after the rebate, and it's just like, why?
Wow.
That doesn't do anything. Like, don't bother. 15% or more. Don't bother. I was looking at some of the games on my wish list just to see if any of them are on there, and I can't remember what it was now, but it's a game that had recently come out. There was also a game on there that just came out that was already $40, which I thought it was Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like already $40 on sale. And there's a couple of other ones on there. Like, there are some decent games on there, but just don't hit me with that 10% bullshit. That doesn't do anything. That's not saving anybody anything.
Yeah, agreed. Well, speaking of that, I did pick up a couple games from that sale this evening. I thought about getting the Guardians of the Galaxy game, but I've never even seen the movies really, and so I know it's got good reviews and it sounds cool, but I wasn't gonna spend the money on that. But.
And Chris Pratt's a conservative Christian, and we can't have that anymore.
Is he really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, so I didn't get that. I thought about Riders Republic. Rider, I hardly know her. It's still $40 though, so I'll probably wait for that to be like 20. However, I did pick up Far Cry 6. It's $40. I was tempted to get FIFA, but I'm going to hold out for the 50 or more percent in December or January that it's inevitably going to be on sale. And then I picked up a game called Insert. I thought about World War Z Aftermath because it's getting a next gen upgrade, but didn't pull the trigger on that either. However, I did pick up Insurgency Sandstorm, which is
Hmm.
also going to be getting a next gen upgrade in 2022. But I watched a bunch of gameplay on it, and it looks really cool. And I don't know why I'm so much into shooters this year, but this is like the year of the shooter for me. So anyway, I picked those up. Just a couple things on the sale there. But let's start to wrap the show up here, Travis, by discussing what we have been playing and anything we're looking forward to. What do you got?
Terrible week last week. So, Friday was the year launch. Last
Mm-hmm.
Friday was the year of the launch, and when I got on to play PlayStation that night, my controller stopped working.
I made it one
Exactly a
year.
year. Exactly 1 year. It was doing this thing where it works on the home screen on the dashboard perfectly. As soon as you load up a game, it doesn't work. So apparently, that is a, a software or a hardware glitch that, according to Reddit, multiple people have had. In theory, I guess it could be fixed with an update. So basically, from what I gathered, the game just thinks I'm holding all the buttons down,
I love
so
this.
it doesn't do anything. And I've read that people would like it's something to do with the triggers, and people like have said you can take your controller apart and do a couple of different things and fix it. And I couldn't get it to work, and I just went and bought a new controller. But the controller does work on my if I plug it into my gaming laptop and play something on it, it works. So I know it's something to do with the actual console. It's not the controller itself. It's something in the communication between the controller and the console, which is
Brilliant.
interesting. But anyway, I've been playing NCAA football on my computer with my PS5 controller, and it still holds up. It's still better than the Maddens. It's still more in depth than the Maddens, which is like the presentation is still more in depth than the Maddens, which is super weird.
Right.
But anyway, it's so hopefully the next game has those things. That's a part of college football is all the tradition and the presentation, and Oklahoma running out on the field with a bull and stuff like that. So, or whatever the
Mm.
hell it is, a buffalo. I don't fucking know. God, I'm not a fucking vet. Anyway, other
Uh,
than that, I played some 2K. I'm bored with the My Team challenges right now. It's like it's just like none of the cards that I need to use, I guess, to do these challenges are very interesting to me. Um, I did an Anthony Edwards challenge. He was a sapphire, and it was fucking miserable. And then
mhm.
I have like some stuff I can do with Gary Trent to evolve him, and he's a ruby, but like I can't. I have to get like 5 dunks with him, and like I can't dunk the ball. Like I can't. He never gets open. He doesn't cut to the basket. I can't get around anybody. When I run a pick and roll, he just like he has no burst. It's super weird. I don't understand what's wrong with his card. It's weird to me how you can have 2 cards with the same stats and then one of them doesn't work.
Right.
So I don't know if it's like the badges are so OP or if it's like
Mm.
they have some sort of coding that you can't see. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But we started. What did we do? We started a online franchise with basically we made the
Oh,
league
yeah.
as big as you could,
Yes, correct.
and then we built our teams out. And I'll tell you what, it was a hell of a night for me, and this is why we did the draft, and we didn't know, or at least we didn't think about the fact that it completely fucks you up on the salary cap. So I was just drafting dudes that I liked, and then I got to the I got to the screen afterward, and I'm like $17 million negative cap space. And I'm like
Yes.
$3 or $4 million into the luxury tax. So I was like, I gotta fucking trade some people so I don't have to pay all this luxury. I didn't think about that at all. I was just like, oh, I like this guy. I'll take him.
Yeah, me
20
too.
million a year, fuck it. Whatever. So that was a problem. And the other thing was I picked the Honolulu Breeze as my team because I liked
Brilliant.
the colors on the logo, and I just liked the way the logo looked, and I liked the name. And then I
Mhm.
loaded my first game, and my court, everything that's painted is pink on the court. So I managed to pick this super feminine team that is $17 million in debt. Really nailed that one. Really,
Oh,
really nailed the franchise there. But
excellent.
anyway, it's a good time. I have Lonzo Ball. He's like him and John Collins are like just ridiculous. I try to kill people with John Collins, and Lonzo is really good on both sides. So I'm having some fun with it. Trying to trying to learn how to play with him a little bit. I'm gonna have to make some difficult decisions in the off season for my virtual team, but I think I'm undefeated, but like it's not like I'm blowing people out. I've gotten lucky a couple times where I just happened to greenlight a couple shots, and that was enough to pull away. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Anything else you've been playing this week, or just those two things?
Just that I started to play Hitman, and then my controller wasn't working,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then I just gave up.
Yeah, the elusive target. Well, I also played NBA 2K22 this week. I don't have anything really more to say than what you did. I do enjoy our league. Didn't play a whole lot of my team this week, but I have my guy Adrian Dantley, so I'm pretty good for the season. I wouldn't mind to have the 30 tokens that I'm pretty close to getting at the next rank or whatever, but I don't know. If I get there, I get there. If I don't, I don't. But the other one that I played, I didn't play a whole lot this week, but the other one was Battlefield 2042. Played it was early access week, so played it a few nights, and still a glitchy game. Still some weird bugs that happen where, like for instance, where you spawn in and you can't select or change your gun or anything like that. So, and then our friend John was having a real hard time staying in a game. Period. So it's definitely got its issues right now. I know it's a very divisive game. I'm enjoying it personally. I haven't had as hard of a time, I guess, as other people, so that probably plays a part as well. But it's more Battlefield, and I can see what they're trying, what what they're going for, and so yeah, I'm enjoying it, and really that's all that matters, I guess, at the end of the day. So that's all I got. I'll have more next week probably after I went on my little shopping spree, but that's all I got this week. So I think it's time for us to get out of here, Travis, wrap things up. So maybe we can get a board of Battlefield in or something before you go nighty night. If you guys enjoy the show, don't forget to subscribe or review us, rate us, and most importantly, share us with a friend or a loved one who you think would enjoy all the week's PlayStation news and more in less than 90 minutes every Monday. We'd be much obliged. If you guys want to talk with us, don't forget to find us on social media, Twitter at the DualSense Pod, as well as Instagram, Facebook, etc. So look for us there. We'd love to hear from you. If anyone else is excited about Multiversus, please let me know. Yeah, so I think it's time for us to go. You guys take care. Have a great week, and we will talk at you next time. Bye bye.